Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. It is Monday again, and we are so excited to be here with you. And I am your co-host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Judy Loge.
Nice to be together with you.
I know, it's been a little while since we've been all together. Audrey is off of today, unfortunately, for some work commitments. So
and we have a chat. We have lots to talk about. That's why the title of the show is so appropriate.
It's true. It's true. It's hard to believe that we're in the midst of our fourth year.
I can't believe it.
I know.
But
every time I talk about that, I think, how'd that happen?
Yeah, it's good.
So we were off last week for Family Day. And did you do anything exciting on Family Day?
We were actually away.
Oh, yes,
so
that's right.
So my husband and I, we went down to Miami, and we stayed in the safe section, of course.
Of course.
And we actually took our son, who wanted to break as well from university. It was his break. So it was a family day in the fact that our oldest son couldn't be there, but our youngest one was.
Yes.
And I think it's really kind of nice to have your son or daughter join you sometimes, because we're alone all year round now.
Right.
So to have him come together and go to movies and go to the beach and do all that stuff is really wonderful.
Well, you want those memories. I mean, I still love those times that I spend with mom and dad, and so you want those family memories. It doesn't matter how old you are.
And as you can see, I really refrained from the sun. It was between 83 and 85 degrees every day, but I use the sunscreen, my hats, my sunglasses, and I protect my skin.
Yep.
But I really, really appreciate people who can tan.
Yes.
And they all look so beautiful with their dark skin. And it's really funny how we had a quote one week is we like what we have, but sometimes we want what other people have.
Yes,
And this girl said to me, I wish I had your skin. And I said, my skin is so pale. And she said, I would love to have sun-kissed freckles on my body. Aww. And I said, I would love to have your dark skin. So, people wish for things.
I don't tan really either. I when I was younger, I used to tan quite a bit. And although I am quite pale.
We're fair. We're very fair.
I'm quite fair. I'm actually whiter than snow most of the time. But I actually tanned quite well. But I try and stay out of the sun,
Me too.
Because I'm afraid of getting that older looking skin.
But what's fun about the Miami area and Bal Harbor and South Beach is that they have that Cuban influence. Oh, yeah. So everyone's so sexy. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's like they own it. They're very confident people, and the women are amazing looking. Everyone looks like models walking by. It can be intimidating if you have no self-confidence.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
But they have the cafes and the cigar shops and the disco going on, and they're alive. You feel alive when you go.
We need to go.
Yeah, we
together.
should. We should.
We need to go together.
It was fun. I saw the tallest man, second to one, that I saw in Washington years ago at the airport in Orlando. He was a basketball player for a college team in Central Florida. Yeah. A defense guy on basketball. And his name is Taco Fall. And he was 7 feet 6 inches tall and 295 pounds, and I felt sorry for him because he towered over.
Well, yes, he would.
I mean, 6 feet 6 inches is tall.
Yes,
very tall.
Yeah.
Imagine being 7'6". No. And he had a hoodie on, and he was. People were staring at him.
Well, he's so identifiable, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he had a duck going through everything. And imagine the inconvenience on planes and in your car.
How uncomfortable would that be?
Well, everywhere you go, you're so tall that you can't. You have to maneuver, and your clothing would have to be all brought in and specialized.
Because Dad's 6'3", and I know your dad's quite tall too. Dad's 6'3", and he finds planes uncomfortable.
Yeah, so this guy must go through a lot.
Yes, I'm sure.
Anyway.
And you couldn't just buy clothes off the rack.
And you don't want to stare.
No.
Like I've been taught not to stare, but I kind of broke my rule. I was like,
well,
yeah.
Well, I must be used to it.
But we were close to Parkland, of course, because it was 58 kilometers where we stayed from the shootings that took place 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And it's astounding. There were 17 killed that day and countless more wounded. But the one thing that I find absolutely amazing is the conversation that's come out of it.
Totally.
And it's entirely led by the youth that survived that shooting. And I think that's what it's going to take to change the conversation from thoughts and prayers and we should never do this again to let's really change it so that this doesn't happen again.
It could happen today again.
Exactly.
And that boy did have issues, and there were warnings there, and he had made threats, and there was a lot of things that went wrong. Yep. The deputy that was trained, that was the 54-year-old man that's been there for years, was appointed to that school to be in position to look after those students.
And I find that I find it so hard, to talk about that gentleman, because of course we don't know, how much training he had, what his life experiences were, or even just, we would all like to think that we would be heroic in those situations, but maybe not.
I don't know, Veronique. I think if you're trained as you're supposed to be trained, you do it's job first, and others first, as a person in that position. And I think that he had a weapon, and that he could have made some attempt to try to take down that guy. He was armed. Yeah. And he was in a position to do so, and he stood outside and he resigned, of course.
Yeah, of course. Tough, yeah. But you know what? What's even for me is the constant conversation around the NRA, the National Rifle Association, and the billions of dollars that they have in sponsorships, and the billions of dollars that they give away to politicians. And what I was really happy to see for the first time in so many of these mass shootings is corporate sponsors are starting to pull away. Delta and United Airlines are two that kind of stuck in my head, but they're starting to pull funding from them. And it's not that I don't think that people have the right to to bear arms, and I know that that's a constitutional right in the States. But you know what? No one needs an AR-57 or whatever those things were, or AR-15 or whatever they were. No one needs one of those.
Exactly.
No one needs one of those. And if you want to go out hunting and shooting, giddy up, you fill your boots. But no one needs access to those weapons.
No. And I think the focus on gun control scares off gun owners, that they should kind of use the better framing of gun safety or reducing gun violence.
And get involved in that conversation.
Gun control seems to want people to go out and buy more guns when they use that phrasing.
Yeah, you're right.
But I do not agree that teachers should have guns in the classroom.
No.
Okay.
No. So and you and I both have taught. You taught at the college level, and I taught at the high school level. And you know what? That was not my job. My job was there to and our teachers are under-resourced as it is.
Totally right.
They don't have enough classroom supplies. They're buying them out of their own pockets. They're expected to modify curriculums and to deal with behavior issues and mental health issues and everything.
And then to be having to hold a gun in case. Yeah. And I mean, it's so easy to say that a kid that's violent, that's in your classroom, could just take a flip and go at the teacher, and that gun might just go off where it could be.
You never know.
It's just wrong.
Too much. Our teachers need more support. They don't need more jobs.
They do, and good for those kids that are out there talking it up and taking it to government and fighting for their friends and thinking this could be me someday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's incredible, and it's going to take our youth making the change for it to actually happen, and for us as a community and as a country and as a neighbor to another nation. We have to listen to these kids because they survived it.
I mean, I think it's one person every minute is lost in the United States to gunfire.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't see other countries. Do you see Japan going around with arms like that? Do you see the UK instances like that? It's not happening.
No.
I think there's the population. I think there's like 10 deaths due to gunfire in Japan every year.
That's right. Yeah, something like that.
And there are 300 million guns possessed by United States citizens.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable amount.
Incredible. Now, let's do something positive. Okay. You have the positive quote of the day.
Yeah, I do. Let's swing to that. If you smile when no one else is around, you really mean it. And that is by Andy Rooney.
That's true.
Do you smile when no one's looking?
I do. I laugh at myself sometimes.
I laugh at memories, and it could be just because sometimes I'll be in my room or getting ready to go out, and I will smile, and it's because of a memory or something that just put my smile on. When we're at the airport, for example, it's the tiniest little things that can make you laugh when you're alone. This mother was chasing her son through the airport, and she said, "Jacob, slow down, you're going to hurt somebody." And I said, fun, making a joke. I said, "Okay, Jacob, slow down." He goes, "How does she know my name?" Then I got in the hotel room, and I thought that was so priceless because so silly but so innocent. Yeah. And just funny little things. So you're genuine when you're smiling, whether you're feeling blessed about something or recalling a good time you and I might have had. They're good. It's good. It's genuine.
I think it's important to laugh often, whether it's with other people or or alone.
So important, laughing, and I laugh a lot. That's the wrinkles, but that's okay. They're earned.
Yeah, me too.
But like we went like mini putting, and I'm terrible at sports, Veronique, and I don't mind admitting it. And my husband was like, "Watch out for that lady's head." don't let go in the water. Watch out for me. No, I'm bad at it, but I can laugh at it. Yeah. And I said, don't even mark my score. Just consider me a tag along because I suck at this.
Well, and that's I often do stuff like that just for the fun of it because I'm usually not that great at it.
I'm a good sport though. Yeah. That counts for something.
I agree. Me too.
So we lost Becca when I was away.
I know. Poor Becca Schofield passed last weekend on the 17th of February. What a legacy that young woman has left. You know, she was 18 years old.
A heroine.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah. And she's left a lasting legacy across the world, really. And the Becca, hashtag Becca told me to, and do an random act of kindness and do it in her memory. And you know what? How amazing at
her age.
Well, really.
And the stamina and, in my opinion, there are angels on earth, and she was one of them.
And she was, going through probably one of the toughest thing any human can go through, and was thinking about, what she wanted her life to mean.
Exactly, and her legacy and what that would be to carry on her. And she did so much for so many people. What a beautiful. I looked up to her, and I'm in my,
Yeah, of course.
I'm over 40.
Me too.
And as an adult, I admired her as a teenager and thought how stoic and how amazing she was. So, God rest her soul.
Yeah, no, and she's gone to heaven for sure. And and we're thinking about her family because it's got to be tough. They live such a public life with Becca, but they have to be given that time to grieve in private.
I know.
Yeah.
But we'll miss her.
Oh, for sure.
And all that she did. I know. Did you watch the Olympics?
I watched some of them.
I couldn't get it all in, but I tried.
No, and how amazing is Canada's doing so well.
Yay, Canada.
I know. They did phenomenally well. And Tessa Virtue and Scott Moore.
They're beautiful. I love watching. That's my favorite event to watch.
Yeah.
But I love the skiing as well. Those are my two top sports to watch.
I know, it's wild.
And it's scary as well.
Yeah.
Canada, 14 gold?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they took 29 medals all told.
Yeah.
Compared to, they beat the record of 26 in 2010.
Yeah.
That's when they took 26 medals, so they beat that record.
Yeah, giddy up.
Yeah. And so it was Norway first,
yes,
then Germany, and then Canada, then US as far as the top four go.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
And they all did so well. It's a heartbreak.
Yeah.
Especially for the Canadian hockey team.
I know, because
the women's.
We're so used to them, coming home with the gold. But I mean, it is what it is. Silver.
Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose.
That's right.
And what did you think of the little Jacqueline Larocque taking off her medal, the silver medal, when she was given it?
Yeah, and I didn't see a whole lot about that, and I don't know, if it.
Jocelyn Larocque.
Yeah, I don't know if she was, bitter that it wasn't gold, or if she just.
She was having a terrible moment with the loss.
Yeah.
And her emotions overtook her. Totally, but I was dismayed at that because you have to suck up a loss. But that was 4 years in a row they'd taken gold.
Yeah, you have to be as gracious in defeat as you are in winning.
They want that 5th consecutive win.
Yeah, and I understand that. But you know what? Somebody else has to have it too.
I know, but it was a shootout, and it had to be bitter because it was a 3-2 loss with the shootout. And but I couldn't take my medal off because I'd be so proud to just. Well, I guess
to be there.
You have to be in the position to know what you do.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't judge.
No, it's true. Tough loss though, and I know even for the women's short track speed skating, they got knocked out and disqualified, and that was tough for them too.
And the girl, the top ever medalist, I guess she's the most decorated, is the girl from Norway.
Oh, really?
Marit Bjorn. She's a skier. She has 15 medals now to her name.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's.
We haven't managed that.
No.
I have a medal, but I think I gave it to myself.
She's incredible. 37
or my mother
years
gave it
old.
To me. Yeah, one or the other. So March break's coming up.
Yeah, I guess I've had mine. I don't get any break. Mine came in February.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much going on in the city. I know that the city of Miramichi itself has a lot of activities happening, and
Always.
I know across the province, really, because the municipalities really do try and give families things to do during that time frame. And I like March break. I miss being able to take March break.
But some people love to travel, and some people just like to take a break, total R&R.
True enough.
Just get away from it all and not have to go to work and stay in their pajamas and cook up a storm at home, or they like to take their family and do something.
Yeah, true.
Each to their own.
Oh, I know a lot of people going away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the bridal show coming up.
You do?
On March 4th.
Yeah.
It's this coming Sunday.
Yeah.
It's the Wedding Loft's annual bridal show. So it's an event where it's $10 a ticket in advance.
Right.
15 at the door.
Well,
but you get a
very
glass
reasonable.
of bubbly when you walk in, and there's vendors everywhere, limousine services. They show you if you want to book a venue. The brides are there from the Wedding Loft, and the models are on these gorgeous gowns. And it's a fabulous afternoon at Riverside Entertainment. The doors open at 1 o'clock. The fashion show is at 2. And it's always a beautiful event.
Oh, yes. And I mean, the pictures are absolutely fantastic. And on the weekend, just past, actually, the Kinsmen had a fundraiser.
I missed it.
And trivia seems to be the way to go now. So the Kinsmen had their first annual trivia night. And so it was $250, I think, a team. And there was like appetizers and drinks.
That's a really good idea to do that.
A whole lot of fun.
So are you good at trivia? Like I'm good in certain components. I'm good with music, entertainment. Let me see.
Well, I'll tell you how bad
Not bad at history.
I'll tell you how bad I am. So just before Christmas, I think it was, My Pie had a trivia night. And so our team was called MoPie. So My Pie is Miramichi Young Professionals and Involved Entrepreneurs. So we were the Miramichi Old Professionals and Involved Entrepreneurs, MoPie. And yeah, we came in last.
Were you a good sport?
Oh my gosh, we had the best time.
Yeah.
We laughed and we had a great time together. So we're actually going to do it again Friday night.
You are?
My Pie's having another trivia night.
Okay. So I'm pretty good at it. I used to play Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, I used to think I was smart. not trivia for whatever reason. It went horribly wrong.
So anyway, what else? Anything else that we want to talk about today in the quick chat portion?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so much going on in the next little while and so much that's been happening, of course. And you know, politics is always a fun thing.
You know me, Veronique. You know how I feel about certain people
I know.
in positions.
I know, and it's funny, you know, we talked, not funny, but we talked about the Parkland shooting, of course, in the States and you know, and all the gun control discussion. And, you know, poor old President Trump. He was just a twittering up a storm there last week, you know, and almost trying to distract from.
I can't watch him.
You know, what's going on, and really he shouldn't.
And then we
shouldn't be allowed.
We don't have time to get into the Trudeau trip to India, but that was a very, what would you say, a very interesting trip, a week long.
Yeah, and it was highly controversial in a lot of ways.
It really was.
Yeah, highly controversial in a lot of ways. But it's, you know, sometimes I think we see it with any prime minister is that we start, you know, to nitpick at the small stuff.
I know.
And, you know, it overshadows actually what's really important. And you know, every prime minister's got the same thing. There's so much that needs to happen on all of these trips that, you know, we need to focus on what's important.
But why was that man that was blacklisted from entering India who attempted to murder a cabinet minister on Vancouver Island in 1986, he was charged with that. And he was allowed in and taken, you know, he had pictures with Sophie Gregoire.
And that was a huge issue. There's
the Minister of Infrastructure, he was pictured standing beside him. So, but there was one man, an MP from BC, that invited him and said he was very remorseful that he did because it caused a huge stir.
Yeah, and that was a very significant issue. I was a little more about the issue of the Prime Minister's clothing shouldn't have been as big of an issue as it was.
Crazy.
Yeah,
really
but
does.
we have a great show today, Judy. I am so excited for what's to come. We're going to be joined by a couple of very interesting guests, very important guests on our show. And following on the announcement that we had just last Thursday for the region here with the Special Olympics coming to Miramichi.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, we're so excited. So we'll see you soon. Don't go away. Talk to you in a few minutes. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Veronique Garceau, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Judy Leger. Welcome. And Audrey is off today. She had some work commitments, so she wasn't able to join us, but she'll be back next week. We are so excited. We are joined by two fabulous gentlemen.
Yes, hard-working gentlemen at that. They're always on the go doing something for our city.
Gotta have a good intro. So today we're joined by Mr. Ian Flieger and Chief Paul Fyander from the Miramichi Special Olympics that are coming next February. Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having us, ladies.
It's a big topic. It's a very exciting topic.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about both of you first, and then we'll kick off into this.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm the Chief of Police in Miramichi. I've been the chief for the last 6 years, and I started in policing in 1980, which was back a few years ago.
Yeah. One or two, yeah.
Lots of changes over the years. My wife Carmel and I have two sons. Our oldest son lives in Halifax, he and his wife, and our grandson just turned 2. today, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grandpapa.
Yes, so we had his birthday last weekend, and they live in Halifax, and our youngest son, Alex, lives with us.
Yes.
And Alex is involved with the Special Olympics.
I've met him. I've not met your older son, but he's a fine young man.
Wonderful.
I was born and raised in the Miramichi. Recently retired from Mount St. Joseph after 37 plus years.
Wow. Congratulations on that.
Incredible.
Feels good?
Married. My wife and I, Stella, live in Logieville.
Okay.
And my sister Patty lives with us. She's a Special Olympian.
She's a sweetie.
And we have 2 children. I have a daughter that's married, lives in Upper Derby. And we have a new granddaughter. She's 7 months old.
Well, there you're keeping up with the chief here.
And my son Andrew lives in Grand Prairie.
All right.
Going to be married in May on the Miramichi.
Very nice. It's all positive, right? So it's good to hear good news.
So,
and now you're here on part of the Special Olympics coming up.
Okay, and we're actually going to talk about that for a second. So Miramichi is gearing up to host the New Brunswick 2019 Winter Special Olympics. So nearly 400 athletes with intellectual disabilities will converge next February, so not this year, to take part in 4 winter sports here on the Miramichi. Organizers are, of course, very confident that the community can make this work, as we always have, and support is already starting to flow in. Here's Sean DeLong with a little bit more on this story.
Greeted with a warm round of applause, Miramichi area Special Olympians came to hear news that's a long time coming.
Our next provincial winter games will be held here in 364 days from now on February 21st to 24th, 2019.
Every 2 years, a provincial city or town sees 400 athletes with intellectual disabilities take part in 6 winter sports. The sports include bowling, skiing, snowshoeing, skating, and hockey. Brittany Esty has bowled for 16 years. She's excited for next year's Winter Games.
I do like sports, and I've played sports lots of times too.
You're on team.
I've been on a team, and I'm on a team now for bowling.
On your straight and on your spare, on my one too. I'm your straight and spare.
Albert Bowie says his son Justin also enjoys the social aspect of the competitions.
All intellectually disabled adults should be able to socialize in the same manner as every typical adult should be. And all it is it's like a big fraternity.
And folks, credit where credit is due. Please notice the significant number there, $18,000 on behalf of the Rotary Club of Chatham.
With the announcement comes support from local charities. Chatham Rotary member Chris Kidney recalls his experience coaching a national Special Olympics team.
Their team got the ball first and went down and scored. So I said to my guys, get back, defense. They were too busy high-fiving and hugging the other team. I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and it's a lesson I've never forgotten.
And private sector support, too. The New Brunswick Automobile Dealers Association wheeled in 2 checks totaling $32,000.
$21,990.
Now organizers will concentrate on all areas to make the Games a success. They're fully confident volunteers will help, and the city has the infrastructure to hold the 4-day event that begins February 21st. Regional Coordinator Gail Way has a son with an intellectual disability. She says all the athletes look forward to the Games.
I'll tell you, when we start our programs in September, we start all our programs back. We have curling, bowling, swimming, and floor hockey. And when we first start back, the first week we start in September, their first question is, when's the next tournament? When do we get to go away? When do we meet the friends that we've had for, we see once a year or something like that? And they loved competing in the Games.
Miramichi Grand Lake MP Pat Finnegan says the Games help promote diversity.
Special Olympic is a global movement of people creating a new world of inclusion and community where every single person is accepted and welcome, regardless of ability or disability. The Games are helping to make the world a better place, healthier and more joyful place.
Miramichi Bay Devin MLA Bill Fraser says the Games create a positive impact for the region and athletes can go to national level competitions.
Based on their results from the Games here in Miramichi, some of them will be named to Team New Brunswick and will represent our province in the next National Special Olympics Winter Games. These Games are so much more than just sports. They are about enriching lives and contributing to social change.
New Brunswick Special Olympics Executive Director Josh Astle says the organization had to rethink strategies for hosting the Winter Games, which are on a smaller scale than the summer events.
We're able to take these events to outside communities to bring in more athletes and more dollars. I always say we're never about just the money. The money is a byproduct of having really good, kind volunteers who really help us push our positive message of our athletes, overcoming barriers and succeeding in not only sport but in life as general.
The 2019 Special Olympics begin February 21st and run until the 24th.
Well, that was an amazing announcement, and to a full hall, obviously. Yes. So, what's been the reaction so far?
Nothing but positive. As you can see, the turnout for the announcement last Thursday, I guess, it was more than what we expected. Mm-hmm. We were hoping for a good turnout, and it certainly exceeded our expectations.
Wonderful.
Yep. Yeah.
So you are the chair of the 2019 Winter Olympics.
Yes.
And you are with communications.
Yes.
And then you have a committee of how many people?
So we started talking in the fall of last year. We were asked by New Brunswick Special Olympics to consider hosting the Winter Games. So the last time the games were held here was in 1993, which was quite some time ago. Ian
Summer
was
Olympics,
involved
wasn't it?
At that
the
time.
Summer
Yes.
Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So we talked about it, and of course we wanted to do it, and we want to do it up in fine Miramichi style.
Yes.
So we put together a committee. There's 18 of us on the committee. Oh. So we started meeting in January and started the planning process. So one of the big things was to come up with a title sponsor.
Right, big.
Which is big, and of course whoever the title sponsor is, their logo, their name is associated throughout with the Winter Games. So we made a presentation to the Rotary Club of Chatham, and they agreed to come on as our title sponsor.
And we're both Rotarians, so that makes us very proud.
Yeah, with an $18,000 donation.
Yes,
and we're very happy to have them on board.
That's exciting.
They're a great organization.
Exactly. So that was our first thing that we needed to do, was get the title sponsor, and then we have one platinum sponsor. And the New Brunswick Automobile Dealers Association
that was wonderful to see
has come on with a $10,000 donation.
Perfect, Ben. You're on a roll now.
We're on a roll. We're just getting started.
It's a huge endeavor.
Yes.
So I'm really interested with all these athletes coming. So it's New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island that will be competing?
Yes. Yep.
And how many events will there be?
4.
4.
Okay.
And tell us what they are.
There'll be snowshoeing, candlepin bowling, curling, and floor hockey.
Okay.
Okay.
It's co-ed.
Yes.
It's co-ed.
Yes.
And they're always, these games are always ongoing, so their skills are improving all the time towards this competition.
Yes.
Well, I think it was, I want to say the Summer Special Olympics that the Miramichi team did so well. We came home with several silver, I think.
Come home with a combination of gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah.
Look out now.
Yeah.
We've got to do it again.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I agree.
So the planning, tell us about this. So there's someone in charge of venues, someone in charge of the accommodations, and et cetera. It's a lot to consider.
Yes, there is. The committee is big, but it's big for a reason, because like you had mentioned, there's accommodation, there's transportation, there's food. When the athletes are here, we look at, from the time they arrive in Miramichi on Thursday, they're provided supper, and then we have the opening on Thursday evening, and then there's breakfast, lunch, and supper for Friday, Saturday, and they have breakfast on Sunday before they depart from Miramichi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very well organized. And what age group does this qualify? What age group?
Well, we have our oldest at 72.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And what is his or her specialty?
Ivan King.
Ivan King.
I
well known in the
Ivan.
community.
He is one amazing not young, 72?
If you ask Ivan, he's probably the top floor hockey player in Miramichi.
Who doesn't love Ivan King?
I didn't realize Ivan was 72.
He still goes hard
yeah.
plays hard
And bowling.
And bowling.
Yes.
He was at it last night.
Yeah.
Okay, and how young is our youngest participant, typically?
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Really?
That's amazing. So the span's wide.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So is there different? There must be different venues around the city that you're going to have to utilize. Like, what does that look like for the city itself?
So the of course bowling is restricted to the bowling alley, curling to the curling rink, and then we have floor hockey, and the snowshoeing. So we are looking or working on that right now to get those venues nailed down. We have a good idea of where they're going to be. And what we want to do is run a couple of floor hockey games at the same time. So because of course we only have 2 full days.
Right. Now, I know from past events, and I'm on the committee to organize the Acadian Games that are coming this June. You need a lot of volunteers.
I guess.
A lot of volunteers. So I'm sure at some point there'll be a call out for people who are interested in helping out.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Actually, we have people right now that are asking about, but it's a little early.
Yep.
So we're going to hold off on that. And there will be a website that they will be able to go to and fill their application out, which will go to the people that are in charge of volunteers.
Right. And you don't have to have any sports experience or anything. You just want people to come out and help out.
So we're looking in the vicinity of about 70 to 80 volunteers is what we're figuring right now. It could be a little bit higher. We know we're going to have an overabundance of volunteers because we're already getting a lot of
amazing how they come on board.
So I guess at the end of the day, if people get turned away from volunteering, it's not because we don't want them, it's because we've hit our quota. Right. But what we will be telling people is if you're not a volunteer, come out and support the games.
Oh,
and
cheer
the
them on, for sure. You need that to get that motion and that pump to win, right? It's not all about winning, it's about the fun and the competition aspect of just maybe beating your own record.
And if they come out to the sports, they would see that it's not all about winning.
Right.
No, and I love that. That's what it's all about for me.
I volunteered at my first summer Special Olympics games when I was 6. 6.
You've experienced, Vera.
Yep.
Now there's a big celebration. That must be the highlight, is it? At the end, there's a dinner, medal ceremony. Tell us more about that.
So they have a closing banquet, and they have, of course, they award the medals at the different venues just to kind of keep things simplified, right? And so they have a real nice dinner Saturday evening, and then the highlight of the whole games is the dance.
The dance.
Of course it is.
That's going to be a crowded dance floor.
That's when they let their hair down, and you know what?
Celebrate.
The medals are secondary.
It's so true. They just have a great time.
It's all about, it's the social aspect and the camaraderie, and that's what it's all about.
And feeling the support of the community, and you're getting that, so it's going to be wonderful. Anything,
Well, and really, I really want to encourage people then to make sure that they come out to see the games, and nobody does an event like Miramichi does, really. we're getting really good at these provincial events too.
We are.
We said that we want to make this one that they won't forget.
Yeah.
And it comes so fast. The planning is so, you're planning so far ahead. And to me, the key to success is always organization, and you're well on your way to that. So it takes place February 21st to 24th of 2019?
Yes.
So people can mark that off their calendar now.
That's right.
And be around for it.
And there's not a whole lot to do over the winter months. I mean,
that's right.
Right? So this is a great opportunity to come out and show the support.
So your own son, Alex, what is his forte? What is his favorite sport?
So he's into bowling, and he's also a referee at floor hockey.
Oh, okay.
And he's very good at both, as I understand.
He likes the bowling.
Loves it. And Patty's your sister, and she's going to be competing.
Yes.
And what is her favorite sport?
In bowling.
Okay.
Bowling. I'm not a good bowler at all. She could whip me. She could whip me bad. I'm the gutter queen.
I am awful at it, actually.
No, they
have a good time.
They do.
So do you want to touch a bit about the coaching aspect, or is the various people to coach always these sports that are coming up?
So I'm involved with floor hockey. Rick Hayward and Adam Hayward, myself, we coach the floor hockey team, and we meet every Saturday evening, and we have a great time. We start out in late fall, and we go to the spring, and so we line up a few games in between.
Good.
We just had a game on Saturday night. A bunch of us from the police force took on the athletes, and of course they beat us and beat us good. They always win, right?
They really beat you good.
Yeah, they did. And so I heard lots about it last night at bowling, of course.
Ivan would rub it in.
Oh, big time.
That's all right. And you coach as well?
I help out with the bowling, so.
Okay.
As
Wonderful. Well, we want to thank you, gentlemen, for everything that we are so excited about this coming here to Miramichi, and we really want to encourage people to make sure that they get out. Is there any last thoughts you want to leave with everybody before? I mean, we're going to have you back before then, by the way.
Yes.
Any last thoughts you want to leave with everybody today?
Well, the goal of the committee is to make this a memorable event, especially for the athletes, but for everybody that's involved, right? And we're going to do it up fine, Miramichi style, and people won't forget
We'll
about it.
be very proud of all that.
Yes.
Ian, any last thoughts?
No, just echoes Paul's thoughts of that they won't forget the Miramichi.
And it's been since 1993 that we haven't had this, so it's
I
time.
can't believe it's been that long.
It's time.
Yes,
And you
it's
must have been very happy with the reaction you got when the announcement was made that it was going to be hosted here.
We were ecstatic.
Ecstatic's a good word.
Well, we're so looking forward to it, and I know Judy and I will be volunteering for sure,
Yeah,
and
Colin.
of course all of the Rotarians will be out because it's as the title sponsor now. It's quite amazing.
Yes.
But you know what? We're able to be the title sponsor because of the community, right? Because of the funds that we raise in the community that are now going back into the community as well. So yeah, we're excited about that. Well, we want to thank you both, gentlemen.
Great job.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
thank
thrilled.
you.
We're thrilled about what's to come, and it was great to see actually some of that footage with the bowling and the announcement itself. So. Don't go too far. We want to make sure that you do volunteer for the games come next February, but also that you come out and enjoy them, because absolutely you don't want to miss the joy, the true joy that you see on their faces, and I think bring to ours. So thanks so much. Don't go too far. We have more show to come. Grab a coffee and come back for Have a Chat. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Vernie Garceau, and I'm joined by my wonderful, fabulous, incredibly wonderful co-host, Judy Loge.
She's paid to do that, by the way.
I do, yeah. She pays me about a quarter every week. And welcome to Kim Houghton.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We're
Bright-eyed
so
today.
glad to have you.
Bright-eyed on Monday.
I know it's hard. It's hard on Monday.
But she's always a positive
I
person.
know.
Every time I see you, you're positive, and that's what we need. We
I
need that.
know.
We need that energy on a Monday afternoon. Kim.
It's true. It's true. Well, we had two wonderful gentlemen on our last segment talking about Miramichi Special Olympics for New Brunswick and PEI coming in February of 2019. It's hard to believe that we're talking about 2019.
Yeah, but you have to plan, and it goes by in a heartbeat.
does.
It's just
Yeah.
you're all of a sudden you're right there.
Yeah. So Kim Houghton, of course, is the executive director of Volunteer Miramichi, and you are a friend of the show. You've been on our show before. We're glad to have you back. So tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm the executive director of Volunteer Miramichi, originally from Miramichi, and lived here most of my life, besides a year or two. I'm married and to my husband Troy, and him and I live in Chatham.
Yeah.
And so I help organize all the volunteer events or any agency that needs some help. We have some new things coming up, so we're going to share those at the volunteer awards that we have coming
exciting.
up. So yeah, there's lots of things happening.
Your job is big.
Yes.
Well, you have volunteers that encompasses so many areas.
Yeah.
But specifically now we're going to talk about the third annual volunteer recognition event.
Yes.
And that is taking place April 9th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Miramichi Kin Center, which is located at 100 Newcastle Boulevard. And the tickets are $25 each, which is wonderful, and they can be purchased at
133 Newcastle Boulevard, which is the Volunteer Miramichi office around the square just before Greco.
Okay. Now this is the third annual.
Third annual.
And I've been to the first two.
She was awarded, actually, Veronique was awarded Volunteer of the Year in 2016.
I was.
Yes.
It was quite the honor and very
Beautiful.
very humbling.
And your
in that.
speech was amazing. It
thank
really, truly was.
Thank you. It
And
was
they always are.
well, yeah. Sometimes I get a little long-winded though, but that's okay.
I loved it.
It was a wonderful honor for me that year, and it really. You never do these things, and Kim and Judy, you know this too. You never do these things in order to get the award, right?
Right.
You do it because it makes you feel good, and you know that you're making a
You're
difference.
serving other people.
Yeah, you know that you're making a difference in the community that you live in. And I've gotten, I say this often, I've gotten back so much more than I've given because it's, that true
It's
joy.
fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And it's social.
yeah, and we've had some once-in-a-lifetime experiences because of our volunteer work, which is something I think people don't realize, is that you really get to do some neat stuff.
I'm just humbled when I get awarded for volunteer work, but yet I guess we truly have earned it. So you're accepting nominations now.
Yes,
for
nominations
the Volunteer
are-
Recognition Night. There are 4 categories.
4 categories.
And tell us about them.
So one category is Volunteer of the Year. So if you know somebody that volunteers in a lot of different areas in the community and gives of themselves, then that's a good nomination.
You had a really special one last year, though. You had it wasn't a usual category. It's that one-time category. Tell us about him. Just a little side note about him.
When we were doing the nominations and going through them and trying to decide on the winners, this one particular gentleman came in. Harold Strang was his name.
Amazing man.
Beautiful man. He just blew it out of the water. He's been volunteering for 72 years,
He's 90
I think.
Years plus. He's 90
yes.
He deserved his own category.
We did. We gave him his own category because he just blew us out of the water.
Yeah, outstanding.
And so we did. We honored him alone, and he was very humbled by it.
Yeah. So deserving.
I know.
Yeah. I always say, what's your secret to the youth? You look amazing. And he's got the energy of a young man, too.
Oh, he does. Yeah,
so that wasn't a normal category. No. We just kind of threw it in as a 5th award just because of who he was and what he's accomplished.
Agreed.
So, and then we have a Youth Volunteer Award, so a youth between the ages of 12 and 19 that have their peers look up to them, that give of themselves in their community and their school. And I know there's lots of them out there, so please nominate them because they are so deserving. They're the people that are going to be taking care of us in a few years and running our city. So we need them involved and we need them to get out and do that. The Heart and Soul Award, which is somebody that is committed to one certain area. Maybe they're into coaching baseball and soccer and hockey and they're into the sports. That would be, they're giving their heart and soul to that one particular area. And sometimes I find it gets a little bit confusing between the heart and soul and the Volunteer of the Year because everybody should be the Volunteer of the Year. But when you have somebody that's giving of themselves in a lot of different areas compared to one area, there's a little bit of a difference.
Makes sense.
So the heart and soul is for somebody that's giving of something that they love and that they give back in that particular area.
That driving force for them.
Yeah. And then the last one is the Shooting Star Award, which is given to somebody that's new into volunteering and maybe volunteered a little more than they did last year and etc. So, and an upcoming star.
Now, did you decide upon this event? Was this your did you brainstorm? You came up with this idea, which I love.
I love it. I you know, and I love the fact, we haven't even talked about it, the fact that Miramichi last year, let's go back a few steps. So last year, the Mayor of Ottawa threw out a challenge for the Canada 150, right? And it was to all communities to step up and have their residents, their community members, do 150 hours of volunteer work in the year
2017,
right for 2017. And so we registered on the website for Volinspire, I think it is, and we tabulated, right? And so Miramichi in Canada came in
13th,
yeah.
14th,
13th
out of 200, almost 300 communities in the country.
We beat like Calgary.
We beat big communities.
We shine.
We also were the first in New Brunswick.
Really?
Yes, there was nobody in New Brunswick ahead of us.
Not
sure there was from any of the Atlantic provinces.
Isn't that amazing? We have to take pride in that.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because we always talk about the fact that Miramichi is such a giving community, right? Like there's no community like it. I say that all the time. But that's actually quantitative because now we can prove it.
Exactly. Right? That is exactly right.
You know, nobody volunteers like
Miramichi. We
proved
it, and I know just from knowing some people in the community, and you guys, for instance, you didn't plug all the hours that you should have plugged, so I know we could have come out on top.
Well, I know I can honestly say that I volunteered straight up but didn't log at all. No. So this volunteer night, now you're looking for nominations.
We are looking for nominations.
When's the deadline?
26th of March.
Okay.
Good.
And then I have a committee. Last year, the Allied Realty Group was my committee for choosing the award winners. This year I reached out to Allied again. Some of them are on board, so I'm thinking I'll probably have enough. And then during the night, I have the Miramichi Girl Guides that do the meal.
Lovely.
And this year I have the first Gretna Green Cub Scouts that are going to wait the tables. So they're going to get some volunteer hours because they need it for an upcoming.
That's ideal. You're getting these young groups, these young organizations, the feel for volunteering. They will be the up-and-coming volunteers for many things to come.
Yeah. And oftentimes they're fundraisers. I know for the Girl Guides, typically when they cater a meal, it's a fundraiser for them as well.
I'm really proud of our city.
Yeah. And the boys will get some volunteer hours towards badge that they need. So,
and then the nomination criteria. So for the Volunteer of the Year award, can it be any age? Or
it's going to be an adult because the youth would be in the 12 to.
That's 19. Right. So it has to be, and the Heart and Soul award is open to
anybody.
Anybody. Okay. And so did you want to go over some of the criteria for this?
Sure.
Nomination process?
Yeah. So any adult or youth that fits into the criteria is eligible. They need to demonstrate initiative, leadership, and creativity.
And there's a fairly straightforward form to fill out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we try to make it as easy as possible because I know what it's like when we're trying to fill out those forms and nominate those people that we know and we don't know everything about them.
Right. I know
it does make it difficult. Yeah. So, you just describe what your nominee is about and all the things that you know they volunteer for, and there is a very straightforward form. So.
And can they get the form from you?
Yes, they can give us a call at 622-6565. They can send me an inbox on our Facebook page or just stop in at the office at 133 Newcastle Boulevard and pick up a form.
Easy phone number, 622-6565.
It is a very easy phone number.
I've often been on a panel where the applicants, the names have been submitted. I find it's a terrible task to try to select that one person
people are
in
fantastic.
Various categories. That they just come in abundance, and they're so close sometimes that it's just a hairpin away from being, the winner. And they're all winners, but you have to select one. And someone just stands out a little bit more than the other, even though they're all outstanding people.
Yeah, and in the last 2 years, we have had several nominations, so there has been some competition. So,
it's a beautiful place to hold it too. It has the ambiance at the Kids Center,
for sure.
And with them serving the young people and all coming together, it's going to be another beautiful evening.
What's the meal this year?
It's just finger foods.
Okay.
That's what we had last year and the year before.
Wonderful.
Because it's 7 to 9, so it's not really a sit-down meal. And
people have usually had their dinner by then.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. I looked forward to it every year. Even I won the first year, and that was lovely. But I look forward to it every
So
year.
what do you get for the award again? What is it? Like
a trophy.
A trophy?
I got mine's on my kiosk at work.
Yeah.
I don't have a trophy shelf.
No?
No, I don't. My boys have lots.
Yes.
Pens and medals and trophies, but I can say that I am not a competitive person. I have awards for other things. I have a nice little trophy collection, but not at all for sports.
No.
It's been all mostly for volunteer and figure skating.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have anything for no.
And we're really excited that Paula Spavek from Volunteer Canada, the CEO and the president, will be our guest speaker.
Yes.
So that was really exciting, and we have a big announcement to make. So
wonderful.
So that is...
and the awesome Paddy Quinn will be your MC?
Paddy Quinn is my MC. He was our Volunteer of the Year last year.
Yes, he was.
So
it's one of our favorite people.
I know.
So, so he's going to MC it.
He's dynamic, and he's funny, and he's just a quick draw.
Yes.
With Paddy, he shoots from the hip, and he's always ready, and that makes for a great evening.
Yeah, exactly.
When they have humor and the intelligence to carry it off.
Exactly.
Now, make sure that you tell everybody the phone number and how to get a hold of you again. So that
622-6565. On 133 Newcastle Boulevard, around the square, just before Greco. We're open 8:30 to 4:30.
Now, I want to add too, though, that if people want to volunteer,
absolutely.
for anything, they really should get a hold of you as well.
Yes, absolutely. I have a volunteer portal that is an email list of volunteers that I can send out opportunities to as they come in. On the other flip side of that, any agencies, groups, committees, festivals that are doing needing volunteers throughout the year, please connect, and your connection's going to really be the focus of our volunteer awards night. So
can you talk a little bit about the portal, because I remember I found it a little intimidating thinking about that I had to go register, but can you talk a little bit about the portal for a second?
So what we do is we have an email list of volunteers. The portal is only used for my emails to you. We don't give out your information. To register, it's basically just your name, your address, your telephone number, your email, plus we do a CPIC, so that if an agency called and said, we need X amount of volunteers, I can go from my portal. They don't have to worry about their criminal checks and such when they go to volunteer. So that's already done. It's very useful if you're a shift worker, if you don't think you have enough time to commit to something on a regular basis, because it's a lot of one-time opportunities that go out.
Which is what I love, because you've helped me out a couple of times with different events that I've been in charge of volunteers for, and Festival 506 was one of them, and then the
Irish Festival.
Yes, of course, Kim always helps there. And then the local prosperity conference.
Yeah.
You helped with both, or all three actually. So it can be just that one-off, right? If you decided that you have some extra time over the next couple months.
That's it. Yeah. And like Miramichi, everybody knows it's the city of festivals.
Yes.
So they start the end of June and they just continue right through till October. So it's a lot of one-time volunteer opportunities that could be necessary.
Yeah.
So.
And Kim never talks about it, but Kim is actually one of the biggest volunteers I know.
Yes, you are, Kim. You give it 100%.
Yeah.
Everything you do.
I'm you got to practice what you preach. So.
Well, you definitely do that, and Kim is always one of those people that you can always count on her to come out when you need a hand.
Although
like
you help in various ways with various agencies and etc. Do you have a favorite area that you attend where there's volunteer? Do you know what I mean? Is there one of your favorite events?
She loves the Irish Festival.
The Irish Festival.
I do love the Irish Festival. Yeah. Well, I do sit on the board for the Miramichi SPCA, and I sit on the board for the James Mill Alumni Committee. So those are two of my
loves.
Top.
You're one busy gal.
So,
but
it's
never
fun.
Stops.
What else would you do?
It's true, though. Really, we feel the same way. But yeah, no, Kim is definitely one of those that. When you're in a pinch, for sure, or if you're not in a pinch and you just need help, Kim's there.
So I think that people should come out and support this event. Again, it's the 3rd annual volunteer recognition event, April 9th from 7 to 9 at the Miramichi Kin Center, again, 100 Newcastle Boulevard. And the tickets, again, $25. And accepting nominations now for the 4 categories, and the deadline is March 26th for that.
I know. We'll have to think about that.
I have a few in mind.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
I always do.
So Kim, are you ready for St. Patrick's Day?
Yes, I think so.
Are you going to the big dance the Rotary's having?
Might.
Yeah, that's a good time. That's a real good time.
Yeah.
It's a huge success too. They moved to the Civic Center this year.
Well, right, because they had to. Yeah.
It was sold out last year.
Yeah.
People love to party and have good time.
Raglan Road.
Raglan Road,
Yeah,
awesome.
Raglan Road.
How could you go wrong?
That's right.
So we're gonna rev it up, and I'm actually Irish, so I think I should go.
Well, I agree, and this is I say this every year, but this is my last year with the Irish Festival. It's the 35th anniversary. 35th anniversary, yes, of the Irish Festival this year.
Quite something.
So there's a lot coming out. Patty and I are co-presidents this year.
It's a big job.
Yeah. So but that's the thing, right? With volunteers, and a lot of people don't realize with all of these events that we talk about every weekend and stuff like that. The volunteering starts like the year before.
Yes.
Right? Or at least 6 months before. When the annual one's a little bit less time. It's usually 6 months before, but everybody starts getting together and
they
starts
should.
planning.
If you want a successful event, you have to get ahead of the game and start early.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much to cover.
I know, and that's what we forget. That these volunteers, a lot of the volunteers are year-round.
They don't just show up the day of the event. They're behind the scenes and meetings maybe once a week when it comes close to the date, or twice a week.
But we also do need, and I know with the Irish Festival, we also do need those volunteers that do show up just the day of the event.
Always.
That's always the toughest part, right? Yeah. But I mean, remember, she's so great at that. We never really worry.
Exactly.
So you're all set for this event now? Do you have a lot of planning to do, or you're pretty much under control?
No, it's pretty much under control. Just going to sell some tickets, pick the winners, order the trophies.
Right on, and it'll all happen.
And it'll all fall into place.
Well, Judy and I will be there.
Yeah, I think April 9th's looking good for me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm away a lot, and certain weekends I miss a lot of things because of other obligations out of town, but I can mark this on my calendar.
I know.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So don't forget, if you have a very deserving volunteer in your life, which I know you do.
Or maybe it's you. That's why it's you. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's you. It could be you. It may be you. It should be you. So we want to make sure that you fill out the form, and get the form from Kim or from whoever, and fill it out because we want everybody to be nominated for that day. So thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next Monday.